I recorded this entire video before realizing that my mic was muted. So yes, you're getting the second take. Let's try this again. Hello men and gentle ladies, and welcome back to Surviving the Whiteout, take 2, where in today's video we are going to be talking about an event that is coming up this Saturday, an event known as Canyon Clash. Now Canyon Clash happens every 4 weeks and it always takes place on a Saturday. However, the exact time that the event takes place depends on each individual alliance. So on the Monday before the event, the voting portal opens to all alliance members, and this allows every single member to choose their preferred time slot. And after 2 days, that voting process concludes and the registration phase begins. Now, during the registration phase, an R4 or an R5 will select the 2 most popular times that were voted for by the Alliance members. Usually the most popular time will become Legion 1, with the second more popular time becoming Legion 2. And over the next few days, players can register for one of those 2 Legion times, usually the time either that they voted for or the one that's closest to the time that they voted for. And an R4 or an R5 will be able to approve those registrations and add people to those legions. And when the registration process has ended, that is when the power of each legion is calculated and matchmaking begins. And the idea is that you get matched against another alliance of a similar power. But do not get me started on matchmaking in this game. Do not get me started. Because the amount of times that we've been matched against a strong... Now on the day of the event, there are 2 things that need to happen before Canyon Clash can officially begin. And the first is that 2 Legion commanders need to be assigned. And this effectively gives these 2 particular players the same permissions and responsibilities that the R4 and the R5 have within the Canyon Clash event. And we'll touch on what some of those responsibilities are a little bit later in the video. The second thing that needs to be done, and this needs to be done by every single player taking part in the event, is selecting your 3 squads. And in your 3 squads, selecting which 3 heroes will be in each of those squads. Now for your first squad, you want your 3 strongest heroes, plain and simple. Whoever your 3 strongest are, whoever have the best hero gear, they need to become your first squad. Now for your next 2 squads, you want it to have a good balance between attacking and defending heroes. So still use your stronger heroes that you have available, just make sure one of them focuses more on attack and one of them focuses more on defense. And for that, take a look at widgets, take a look at their expedition skills, and make sure that you have a hero in each that offers good attacking buffs and good defensive buffs. And under no circumstances in this event, use Gina. I don't care how strong she is, I don't care if she's your strongest marksman hero, do not use her in this event, ever. Now if we go and take a look at the event page, you will see that the map is split into 3 different areas. We have Stormage, Flame Guard and Ice Guard. Now each of the 3 alliances in this battle are going to be assigned to a particular area, but all areas work exactly the same. The only difference is the name of the area and the colour, and this is just so that we can differentiate between the teams during the actual battle. So let's take a look at the tutorial for this event, and at each stage I will try and add a little bit more context. So the first page says the battle is divided into 3 stages. In stage 1 you need to occupy as many neutral buildings as possible and seize control of enemy buildings. The points gained from occupying buildings will determine the winner. So when the battle starts, effectively all of the buildings are neutral and each one is guarded by neutral troops. They're easy to defeat, they just take a little bit of time to wear down. So once you defeat the guards and claim a building, you can then move on directly to an adjacent building next to it. So you can't jump immediately across the map and jump straight into the enemy's territory. You can only attack a building if your alliance has a direct path to it of controlled buildings. Now your initial goal within stage 1 is to control all of the buildings on your side of the map. That is your main focus for the first few minutes of this fight. And you want to make sure that everyone isn't sending their troops to the same buildings. You want to make sure there's a little bit of strategy so that you spread out and gain as many buildings as quickly as possible on your side. And once you control your side, the first of 3 very important structures becomes your focus for the next few minutes of this game, that being bridges. Now there are several bridges connecting your side to the sides of the other alliances, and your goal is to control them, because if you take control of either end of those bridges, it becomes impossible for the other alliance to get into your side and try to occupy your buildings. So stage 1 is all about control of your side, then securing the bridges, and then starting to push into enemy territory. So if we now move over and look at the second page of the tutorial, it says, in stage 2, the fight for fortresses will begin. As these fortresses are positioned along key routes, it is crucial to occupy them if you want to take control of the battle. Now, each side of the map has one fortress, so each alliance will have one fortress in their particular area, but it doesn't unlock until stage 2. So what you want to do is keep an eye on the timer at the top of the page when you're in the Canyon Clash event, and that will give you a countdown until stage 2 begins. So what you want to do is make sure that your troops are positioned near to the fortress when that timer runs out, so that as soon as that fortress opens up, you can attack it immediately and start gaining the valuable points that you need to win the fight. Now, your primary focus should always be the fortress on your side. Whichever fortress is in your alliance's area, make sure you focus on that first. But if you have made inroads to the other alliance's areas, then take their fortress as well, because it's going to put you in firm control of this fight very early on. Now let's move over and look at the third page, which, oh, that has small writing. I'm going to have to squint to read this. Frozen Citadel in the middle of the canyon will open in stage 3. It is the ultimate target for all, as its ownership will significantly impact the outcome of the battle. Besides granting points, Frozen Citadel also provides abundant bonus points for its occupier during the tally stage. If your team is falling behind, occupying the Frozen Citadel can even help you turn the tide and eventually win the battle. So stage 3 is pivotal, and just like stage 2, you want your squads to be ready to attack the second stage 3 begins. And again, you'll see that timer at the top of the screen when you're in that event, when you're in stage 2 leading into stage 3. And as soon as that middle building becomes open, you want to rush it. You want to send your best troops, you want to send your best marches, you maybe want to send your best 2 marches to make sure that you occupy that building first. Now, the only way to reach the middle is across a number of bridges, so as long as you control the ends of the bridges in your area, then you're able to attack it as soon as it opens. But if you've made an effort to get into the enemy's area as well, and you control some of their bridges, then you can actually have a complete monopoly over the middle and make sure that you're the only alliance that can even get there. Now, the points that you get from the middle are absolutely essential if you want to win, but the tally stage that it mentioned there was something that I didn't understand the very first time that I played this event. So the first time that we had this event back in 26-17 in the Alliance WXM, we were leading by about 45,000 points and we were holding the middle. And with about 30 seconds left, we realized we were about to lose the middle, but I didn't care. I thought we were going to win. We had a strong enough lead, so I didn't bother to reinforce the middle. And with a few seconds left, we lost the middle and then lost the fight. Because whoever holds the middle at the very end of the battle gets an extra 50,000 points added to their total. So holding the middle is important, but holding the middle right until the very end is what can win you the fight. So if you are less than 50,000 points behind the team in first, and you hold the middle at the end, you win. Simple. So let's now take a look at the fourth page, which says a competent tactician understands the importance of using fuel wisely. It costs fuel to move, conscript, advance, retreat, and revive your troops on the battlefield. You will continuously acquire fuel automatically as time passes. Being appointed as a guardian will boost your fuel acquisition rate. So fuel is the hot commodity in this particular event. You start with 300 and everything you do in this event will cost you fuel. And that is where the Legion commanders from earlier come in. So they, alongside the R4 and the R5, can appoint guardians. So when you control certain buildings, guardians can be assigned to those buildings. And if you are appointed as a guardian, you gain more fuel per minute. And the higher building that you control, the higher building that you're assigned a guardian to, the more fuel you're going to gain over time. So if this is managed correctly and efficiently, it means your stronger players can receive a significant fuel boost for a long time and make them way more efficient in the fight and potentially turn the tide of the entire fight. So when you assign your Legion commanders, you want to make sure that you don't necessarily just give it to your strongest players, because you want them involved in as many fights as possible. So you want to give it to someone who's going to have a little bit more time to keep their eye on it and make sure that they're constantly assigning the correct people and monitoring who has the most fuel at that particular time. So if we now move over and look at the fifth page of the tutorial, it says different types of defenders of varying sizes are garrisoned at different buildings. The defenders will not leave their buildings. Instead, they will revive sometime after they are defeated. Before a building is occupied, the defenders are hostile to all participating chiefs. After the building is occupied, the defenders will serve the occupier. So basically, the buildings regenerate guards over time. So once a building is controlled, those regenerated guards will fight for your alliance rather than against your alliance. And this is a good thing, because if you take control over a building and then you all leave, leaving the building completely empty, Guards will continuously regenerate, but they'll fight it for you rather than against you. And they won't always win those fights, so if enemies come and fight them, they're probably not going to win, but it's going to buy you enough time to be able to react and send your own reinforcements to defend that particular building. So if we look at the 6th page of the tutorial, it says the battle sequence within the building is determined by the order in which the squads arrive. At the end of each battle, the winning squad will be moved to the end of the queue, whereas the defeated squad will be eliminated and can be revived at the bastion. Now this one doesn't need much explaining. Whoever gets to the building first will fight first, whoever gets second will fight second. And if your particular troops lose a fight, then you get sent right back to the beginning and you have to make your way back using fuel. But if you win the fight, you simply move to the end of the queue and wait for the next fight. Now, if you move on and look at page 7 of the tutorial, page 7, that's far too many pages. If a friendly squad is engaging in a battle in a building with a total of 5 squads queuing for attack or defend, you can spend gems to use battle speed-ups to reduce their battle time. Now, this is something that I rarely, if ever, do. You know, gems are important in this game, particularly if you're a low spender or a free-to-play player. So my advice would be to leave this to the high spenders or the whales if they want to do it. Or Cherkez in our alliance, because that man does not save gems. If you are watching, Cherkez, save your gems or I'm going to burn you. So if we take a look now at page 8 and the penultimate page, it says when there are 5 squads on the queue, should say in the queue, you can use fuel to make your squads advance and attack nearby enemy buildings, provided that the building is adjacent to friendly buildings. If you choose to retreat, the squad will retreat to an adjacent friendly building with some losses. So if 10 of your alliance's squads are waiting to fight 2 enemy squads, then it's a complete waste of time and a complete waste of power when those squads could be out fighting for other buildings. So if 5 or more squads are waiting and there's no battle for them to take part in, then consider repositioning, whether that's retreating or moving forward to an adjacent building. So it's always just worth keeping an eye on where your squads are and the particular buildings that they're in and whether they are waiting for a battle or whether they're sat there doing nothing. But always check the enemy power first, because if the 2 enemy squads there are strong enough to wipe out 8 of your alliance's squads, then stick around, because staying in that particular building may end up actually being smarter than moving on to another one. Now, if we move over to the final page of the tutorial, it says when your squad is not engaged in a battle, conscription is available in certain buildings at the cost of fuel. You can also dismiss them and have it revived at the bastion. Now, this is something that I genuinely didn't know until about 2 months ago. So yes, that does mean that today is my first time reading the tutorial. So kind of my fault. But if your troops are inside a building and not currently engaged in a fight and they're not queued, they're not waiting for a fight, they're just sat there doing nothing, clicking on the building and conscripting them or healing them is a very, very good use of fuel. So many times I would win a building and in that fight lose a large number of troops and then immediately send that small number of troops to the next building and lose. Whereas if I would have spent some fuel to conscript them and to heal those troops, I probably could have won. So in the future, I'll be sure to record an actual Canyon Clash battle so that you can see what it looks like in practice rather than me just going through this 9-page tutorial. But I hope this has made what can be a somewhat confusing event a little bit less confusing. If it has, then leave a like and subscribe for more content covering other aspects of the game and other events. So good luck to all of you this Saturday. Hopefully you all survive the Canyon Clash and take one step closer to surviving the Whiteout. I'll see you all soon. Peace.